Welcome back. It's 8:21. As the vaccinations become available, a lot of people could be headed back to work soon. But can your employer require the COVID-19 vaccine? Attorney Anne Marie Ahern joins us live to answer that question right now. Anne Marie, good morning.
Good morning, Todd.
So this is something that comes up, like, do I have to get the vaccine? Can they make me get the vaccine? What are an employee's rights as they go back to work when it comes to maybe getting a vaccine or not?
Well, it comes as a surprise to a lot of people that your employer can, in fact, legally mandate a vaccination. And I think a lot of people think that they have the right to refuse a vaccine, but if an employer chooses to require it, that's within their rights.
Is there a time frame? Can they say, you have to get it by a certain time? Or can you can you say, well, I have some concerns about it? Can you talk with them and maybe work it out? Or is it if they say everybody's got to get it, everybody's got to get it?
There are some exceptions to that. Those exceptions are usually found within your rights under federal and state law as an employee. If you have a disability that would prevent you from getting the vaccination or would cause you undue concern about getting the vaccination or put you at risk in some way, then of course, under the American with Disabilities Act, you would have the ability to object to that. And the employer may in fact be required to provide an accommodation. There are also some accommodations that may be required under the Civil Rights Act if the basis of the objection is a sincerely held religious belief.
What should an employer do to kind of get the message out that maybe they want to do this? Do they have to give a certain amount of time to have somebody to do it, or can they just come out with a note and say, you got to get it as soon as possible?
The employer can set the guidelines and the rules, but what we're finding right now is that most employers are not requiring the vaccination. They're instead strongly recommending it. And then we'll wait and see how many employees opt out of that. And some employers may down the line have more difficult decisions to make if a large portion of their workforce is opting out. And if that employer has a business where the employees are interacting with the public or patients or some way putting people at risk by virtue of not being vaccinated.
So could they do the same thing then with the flu shot as we talk about this, or is the vaccine a separate entity?
No, the flu shot is something that some employers have been mandating for many years now, particularly in a healthcare setting or a setting where the lack of a vaccination may put some population at risk.
What about when it comes to offering incentives? We heard of a couple employers they'll get a cash incentive if they do it. Is that legal? And even if you say, I don't want that money, you still have to get the vaccine?
I think some employers are being pretty creative about this, and they're offering the carrot instead of the stick. Trader Joe's, Dollar General, healthcare system in Texas are all offering incentives to their employees in the form of excess paid time off, additional pay, a bonus, to see if they can, coax or gently incentivize buy-in to the vaccination. But I think if that doesn't work, those employers would certainly be within their rights to require it.
So as you mentioned, so they can require it, but they don't necessarily are doing it, which we're seeing a lot of companies that are maybe strongly recommending. I just want to make sure we get that point clear to people, because you're going to be going back to work and you're going to want to know your rights when you have that happen.
Absolutely. Right now, the number of employees that are actually requiring a vaccination is relatively minimal. Okay. But I think that, as we go down the path and the vaccine becomes more widely available, depending on the number of employees who opt out, which in some settings has been as much as 60%. Depending on the number of employees who opt out, more employers may be looking hard at the option to require the vaccination.
Real quick before we go, is there a difference between part-time and full-time employees?
No.
Okay. Awesome. Anne Marie Ahern, thank you so much. Appreciate that. And that's good advice. And hopefully we'll get our viewers to think about that as they're presented with the options from their employer. Good to see you.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you.
Take care.